Hello. Good evening. And welcome to a Challengers Cup match between round of 16 between Agaisis High Elves. There aren't very many of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 3 loners. And an M&G as well, so 4 loners. Probably a dead player. I think an armor bust lineman. He's a dead un. But they have some good players. Blodge tackle blitzer and a optimistically gone for the jump up in hopes of getting the piling on this guy. Mighty blow, blodge tackle, jump up, sidestep. Agi, but he's also niggled. Oh no, he's up Agi, down Agi. So that's kind of a shame. This guy, wrestle deep tackle, Agi 5. That is an Agi up, Agi down blitzer. Makes you sad, but you keep him because of the mighty blow, I suspect. A very interesting thrower. Blodge, strength 4, accurate, sure hands. Also niggled. No, or rather, it's the only niggle on the team. 1390 plus 280, so whatever that is, 670, something like that. 1670 TV. So perhaps a bit battered. That's Pendragon. Is it case sensitive? Pennies in my pocket. No. Coach name, team name. Oh, for God's sake. Caught in flux. There we go. 1600. So they will be getting a small amount of inducement unless these guys have journeymen as well, but it doesn't look like they do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 players. So giving away a bit of inducement money. High Elves could scum a wizard potentially. Depends how much they have in the bank. The Warriors are not at the top of the roster, which is frustrating. Grab. Yeah, that jumps out, doesn't it? I think grab is better on high strength pieces, because it doesn't work on a blitz except to cancel sidestep. He's a banger. I agree. He's got a nice ball carrier here. Kick off, return, extra arms, block, sure hands, movement up. 3 guard. No, 1 mighty blow tackle. So this guy's going to be doing some work against the elves, you would expect. He does have a bench. Block on 3 of the Chaos Warriors. This guy is blockless. Yeah, it doesn't look like a lot, does it? This guy looks niggled. I would have fired that guy long ago. This guy's Agi bust. Probably would have fired him too, but I can understand. I can understand keeping a Russell guy for the playoffs. So pretty, mid. You don't. It's good to see in a postseason some mid TV teams. You don't want exclusively 2000 TV kill fests, I imagine. They might not have started yet. They have started. I'm just going to hide Blood Bowl 2 for a second, so I can rewind to the start, because we're a little bit late, mostly due to a crying baby. Alright. Hopefully that sliver of the screen didn't give anything away. I'll leave default skills on. Oh no, I won't. I'll leave default skills off. So it looks like the Chaos chose to receive. I think I would have chosen to kick first. But fan factor goes to AndyonGC. The inducements we have a bribe for Pendraco. Which is interesting. They must have dropped some TV. Or I miscounted at the start of the match. They do have the dirty player. That'll dodge. Well, it won't really dodge a mighty blow hit because you can't get away from. Because that guy's going to blitz anyway. But this will dodge some hits. If the ball gets caught here, it's more of a control Chaos team, I'd say. Like focusing more on block and guard. They're going to level more slowly, which you could argue is not good. Oh, I did count correct. Oh, yeah, so 20. Yeah, my bad. Thanks, Shamber. I was getting confused there. I wish REBBL. I wish Blood Bowl 2 showed you the fucking actual amount of the TV. It's like, why would I ever care about the TV of my players? Like, when I have less than 11. It's just not a helpful number for me. So there is one sidestep for the grab to cancel. That'll be exciting when that happens. So just the one stun coming from the LOS blocks here. Also kind of exposing the killer here. This guy's your main threat, I would say, because him being the only tackle. You want to wrap him in cotton wool. Coming in for a 2-assist foul on a loner. Don't love that, but I kind of get it if you reduce the bribe. Moving after the foul. So some turn ordering questions there, perhaps. You can chain push his player off so you don't need to dodge. Very clever. Yeah. He just hasn't taken any kill skills except one mighty blow on the whole team. Which is fair enough, unless you can't block as a kill skill. So I imagine we'll be seeing a lot of this. The High Elves, they do have a decent Saka here. So if the Chaos don't form up their cage with guard correctly, there'll be a pretty easy one-dice sack attempt that could be made by AndyonGC. No attrition for the Chaos as yet. The High Elves have no bench, so removals are the name of the game. Basing the loner here, not quite sure why. Yeah, it's true. And you would think, I mean, they don't have the strength of the Chaos, so the Chaos can do stuff like this, like just randomly base mighty blow. Okay, strange. Like, that's not that hard of a hit. Like, you still need to cage up here. I think we're caught up with... Oh, based cage. Blah, blah. Asking for it here. Absolutely asking for it. There's no guard on the High Elf team. So getting those extra precious assists might be quite difficult. You could half die a Chaos Warrior here to get a shot at the ball. Not even that bad of a shot. You also half die this Chaos Warrior, but you don't have block on the catcher. And no there's guard there, so there's a leap spot here that's potentially sackable. Got the strength 4 who can do the sack. Yeah, it's true. Only movement 6, so it's actually going to be a bit difficult to get them in there. There might even be a chain push of some sort here. Yeah, the guard is in pretty good spots here for the chaos, but yeah, don't have a base cage on turn 2. Feels a bit impatient. I think half die and then to 1, 2. That stun guy is actually in a really awkward spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 2 GFIs if you get the push. But then this guy is standing in the way as well. It's actually kind of awkward for him. It's kind of awkward here. You can make that a 1 die. If you stand someone there. You can do the dodge. You can do a 3+ dodge. So if that's a knockdown on the 1 die. In fact, if that's just a push. So I'd base up this Chaos Warrior. Gaito the Obtuse. Yeah. So I think we've seen the same play there, Shamba. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No GFIs either. You've got the built-in dodge reroll. So pretty easy sack attempt. Just going for the straight up one die leap play here. Gets the POW. The push direction isn't great for their high elves, but they do have the Agi 5. He doesn't have a leap, but he can probably get around just about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He can't get around. Yeah, I think I would have been tempted to blitz from the other direction, so the bounce is more likely to go towards the high elves here. If they can get through this screen though, and get some guys on the ball, so they do have a 2 dice there that might open up a bit of an easier path if they move a player to assist. The other direction had guard in it. That's true, actually. No, this. Oh yeah, it did from this guy. Yeah, that's true. I wonder if the half die play. Oh, sorry, the 1 die on the Chaos Warrior first was better because then you have this guy to retrieve as well with Agi 5 leap. Yeah, so now he can move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you can pick up on the Agi 5 here with a couple of 2s and a 3+ pickup, which is honestly not bad. Ugh, I don't like that. You're taking unnecessary GFIs here. I think I'd rather you could do it without GFIs if you use the dodge. You just need to move this guy first. Yeah, to push yourself the lead, exactly, Shamba. I agree with you. Oh, you can jump on comms if you want. I know you just did a replay cast. I'll join the I'll join a channel on the press Discord. I think I would have gone for the pickup on the Agi 5, to be honest. You're not going to get much of a better pickup. I mean, you can make it very, very tricky for the High Elves. Sorry, for the Chaos next turn. Ooh, that guard is going to be in a monstrous place. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
I'm alright, I'm alright. How are you?
I'm very well. My fish pie is not cooked, and I'm waiting for it to be cooked.
Ha! Unfortunate.
Yeah.
missed by a pie.
Yeah,
Normally it's the other way around.
I think I would have gone for the pickup on that turn. To be
Yeah,
honest.
it's interesting. The pickup was what? It's
3+.
3+. Yeah, I think so too. Because problem is, it's the tackle. Like you're actually standing right next to the tackle, so you can't even say, "Oh, it's on blodge. It's safe." But yeah, I think I agree.
I mean, it was pretty well worked out turn, to be honest. Like 50-50 on the sack, but if you get that, you can put the chaos in some trouble.
Yeah, I mean, even without it all working out perfectly, this is still a big mess, right? Which is exactly what you want if you're the Edge team and not what you want if you're the Bash team. Because at some point, unless you manage to make a miraculous recovery, you think the elves are going to have a shot to just run away with the ball.
Yeah, it felt a bit unnecessary as well. Turn 2, base cage, guard in the wrong spots.
Yeah, it was very aggressive, wasn't it? It was very aggressive. I mean, did he need to play that aggressively? It felt like he was, I don't know, maybe worried that he wasn't taking enough space, but it's turn 2, as you say, so...
Yeah, I think I would have been sniping for a few more turns. So blocking with the dirty player just to get the Agi 5 out of the way. So it's a 3+ pickup now with sure hands. If he wants it. Maybe I shouldn't have got you on voice comms because now you're one of the few people watching.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Can you go into chat and sort of type things as well, just to make it seem a bit more lively? Like, who are these people that have got things to do on a Thursday night?
I don't know. Crazy, isn't it? There are 6 people watching, so it's not entirely crazy that someone might want to say something at some point.
Yeah, that's the downside of... This is why I think they should have picked up the ball, because you're going to get so many reprisal hits on your guys that
is true.
That the likelihood of being down a couple of players. He still hasn't used his blitz. You'd think it's coming against the Agi 5 here. Double skull. Do it again. No, I didn't do it again.
Who are you rooting for?
I'm rooting for the High Elves, obviously. Everyone likes the Ag teams to beat Chaos.
It's true. And to be fair,
they're the least killy.
They are. They're very strangely unkilly, aren't they? 1600, you expect
I think
a couple of claw.
I think there might have been a bit of a misplay.
Well, yeah, letting him sidestep somewhere probably not ideal.
Do a 4+ dodge to even attempt the pickup.
I don't.
Yeah, he's not attempting the pickup, so
I don't think he'll even attempt it now. Like, you could dodge out to the right and then come back in for the pickup, but I just don't think he's going to try at all. So.
His Chaos Coach made a vow. Fair enough. Got to respect the vow.
Okay, what's the vow? No piling on, no claw.
I mean, he's in the Challengers Cup, so you know.
He is. I mean, it's actually very impressive. Because
maybe it's like a Chunter ult, and he's just going to absolutely dominate.
Maybe, because I've played Chaos teams like this. My experience is you kind of end up with no good matchups because you know the big bash teams, the orcs and the lizards and what have you, are very, very happy to play a Chaos team without claw. Like, that's just fine for them. And the elf teams, well, they kind of were already good against Chaos in the first place. Like, not amazing necessarily, but like, if you don't have the ways to remove them, that's just going to be so comfortable.
I think in a one-off match, I think the Agi team is favoured.
Yeah, that's fair.
If they have enough tools, you know, if they've got a leaper, if they've got maybe a guard or a mighty blow or something, I think I would favour the Agi team most of the time. Just because they can just go 2-0 up if they get some good dice. So there's a bit of a chain push play here.
Yeah. I was just wondering how he was going to scatter it, because surely you're scattering it this turn.
Yeah, I think you scatter your own player onto the ball, and then hope
that's what he seems to be doing.
Northwards. Because you have Agi 5, so it's a 3+ dodge if the ball goes the way you want it to. So you can sidestep. I would have sidestepped onto the ball here, but he might be trying to bounce a player onto the ball But then there's more bad scatters now because you've got 3 unmarked Chaos players next to the ball who could quite easily catch it.
Yeah, it's only a 4+. I mean, it's not crazy.
Yeah, I think he's gonna.
Well, one of them presumably you're punching onto the ball, so that one won't catch it. But there's still 2 others.
He's not doing the ball punch,
isn't he? That is really interesting.
Unless he's just doing the pickup here. That is a -5. Oh, there we go. He's doing some sort of weird move away, then pick up. Yeah, he needed to do that because the dodge was -5.
Yeah, but the pickup's not going to be much better, is it?
It's not.
Oh, gets the KO.
Or you could just leave sidestep next to the ball and then let the Chaos Coach have a bit more rope to hang themselves with.
You could. It's true. It just takes it. Yeah.
So this is one of the really shitty things about playing Agi teams. Is you'll be in this sort of situation, and there's enough time in the half for Chaos to just mop you up, pick up the ball, run in on turn 8, and you're like, well, if I just not bothered defending or not bothered going for the sack, I would have had the same outcome.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But I mean, you could also argue there were ways he could have optimized his plays slightly to give himself a better chance of running away with the ball at the end of the day.
He could have gone, yeah, he hadn't used the team reroll on the sack turn. So
true.
He had a 3+ that he could have re-rolled, and then a 2+ dodge away from tackle, maybe.
There was probably a couple of GFIs in that as well, I think.
Yeah, I think there was. Yeah, I think to not be based at the end of it, I think you need at least 1 GFI. But anyway, that's not what happened.
It's not what happened. He also, he chose the 1 dice sack, which was also had the.
I don't know where the game's going. Why are you going away from the ball? That's not where you need to be.
No, they're not fighting where the action is, are they? What they really should be doing, they've even got grab here to push the sidestep off the ball.
Grab value, come on, grab value.
Yeah, literally grab value right here, right now. Push that sidestepper off, pick up the ball, and you're good. But the way he's setting up, he's going to find it, I think, very difficult, even if he gets the ball this turn, to put it in a safe place.
Yeah, he's not.
Leaper is gone, though.
He's not got a good cage spot, particularly. But yeah, the High Elves have taken a couple of KOs. So a 2+ pickup now. Sorry. It's 2+ pickup because of extra arms.
Yeah. But where is the ball going? I genuinely don't know.
Pass.
Guess it can.
Maybe he's just hoping for an armor break on the blitzer there. And then
I guess.
You can sort of cage near him.
Can he kind of make it safe, sort of to the right, near the strength 4 thrower, but not like basing it like square or 2 away? Can he sort of do that? I suspect there would be a play on.
He could use the stunned Chaos Warrior as a cage corner, and then form a cage kind of there.
But the stunned warrior will always leave a walk-in square, right? Because it's not projecting a tackle zone, so it's not a cage corner per se.
Yeah, good point. That is why cages tend to be like they are.
Yeah.
I had a new player ask me if a cage where you have orthogonal players around the ball is any good. So you go.
Well, no, but. So, sometimes all you can do is produce an eye cage, right? And that's sort of similar. Oh, he goes for the foul. Yeah, he's got the bribe. Yeah, excellent foul.
Love that. I mean, it's pretty much a dead drive now for the High Elves. They do have a pretty easy sack, so they have to hope for some bullshit here.
Well, I think...
It's not too bad. Unfortunately, they don't have a wrestle player left.
No,
that's 5+ at best. Oh wait, no, they've got a square to assist from as well.
They do, yeah. The loner can easily get to the assist square, right?
I think I would go for the retrieval on the thrower, and it looks like he's just going to take a block here.
Okay, that's interesting because he could really be away with the ball. I think if it all goes like superbly well. Let's say
loner GFI. I think he's might have loner GFI. Go for the 2 dice sack. He's just going for something.
It's not clear what he's going for to me. I think he's going for the sack with the tackle piece.
Yeah, but that taking that block on the guard guy doesn't help that in any way.
No, I agree. I think that's just greed.
So now he's got a 1 die.
Yeah, so now it's only going to be a 1 dice. And he also has no recovery because he's moved everything.
Yeah, I don't think I would have re-rolled that push. You could have used the re-roll for the sack instead. Even if you get a knockdown, I suppose you get a knockdown, it becomes a 2 die on the ball because.
Well, that was I'm sure the point, but I don't know. I prefer a line that ends up with you having a chance to just run it because my ideal conception of the way that turn plays out is somehow you get the ball onto the blodge tackle guy, and the blodge tackle guy runs up the pitch with the ball, and you can screen him with the other 2 players.
I would say you somehow work out the sack, pick up on the thrower, pass to, because you've got a really good passer on that guy. Yeah. He's got
accurate as well.
So he's passing on
safe throw and pass. Yeah,
get that to like a random line elf that hasn't acted yet, and then you run up the pitch, maybe something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But I think you could have got the ball away if everything goes well that turn. But the way he did it, even if everything goes perfectly, I don't think you get the ball away. Still, this is still tons of pressure.
He's not gonna score this turn, Glover.
No.
Scoring this turn is giving High Elves 4 turns to score would be very ambitious.
He may be forced to, but he definitely doesn't want to.
I don't think he's going to be forced to. He should be able to put enough players near the ball here.
Maybe
he's got guard. He's got enough guard to like make it really hard to get good block dice.
That is true, but there is a strength 4 still lingering as well.
Push one of the guys away, block the other 2, hope for armor breaks. Yeah.
So he needs to bring the other guard in. Okay. Just a push because of dodge.
Yeah, you can sort of cage where you are if you just push the elves out of the cage and then move the rest of the players in.
Can you push all the elves out? Because
pretty okay. Yeah. Oh no, the strength 4 you need an assist.
Yeah. So so the ball carrier pushes the tackle out.
Ball carrier pushes the tackle.
And then you can bring an assist in, because I think at the moment you can't reach.
What actually? He's blocked his path with the mighty blow goat here. I think he had movement left. I think that's just a misplay. Yeah, because he can form the cage corners in that spot, which is fine, but he can't get players through. So you probably want to move the guard to be at the bottom of the cage, and then just cage corner with the dirty player, just to make these blocks a bit easier.
Yeah, for sure. I think he's in a pickle. I think he's just looking at 1 dice on the thrower. I think that's just what it's going to have to end up being.
He could take GFIs. He's got, if he wants to. But
yeah, that's true.
Chaos.
It's probably worth, isn't it?
So it's going to be a sack possibility next turn. You would think.
You would think. Okay, so gets the push on the ball carrier.
Easy sack here,
but yeah, that's the thing, right? Like now the guard goat is completely overloaded, right? Like it's never going to be able to deal with the 2 players that are facing it.
I'm going to predict a 1 die on the thrower and then a skull, reroll skull. That's my prediction. Because he really wants to take that 1 die.
And he didn't do the GFIs to get the assist, so it's always going to be a 1 dice.
He's itching to do it. My prophetic powers have failed me. Yeah, no, I mean, that's a good point, Glover. Like, he was under a lot of pressure. I don't think he played that turn super well, but you could have just scored there just to relieve some of that pressure.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying about maybe he's forced to score. So is he going to
win? That's a reroll. So he has a pretty easy sack on the ball. still, I think. He's got a couple of line elves that can assist. Down the left side.
It's not hard at all, is it?
You're still running out of players to do the retrieval.
Actually, so I think one thing you can't do is you need to make sure not to stand up the dodge catcher as the assist, because that's very tempting. But actually, if you do that, I think you block your way in.
That's the square you want to run through.
Yeah, so you need to bring a lineman back to act as the assist for the hit on the guard.
Yeah, take the hit with the tackle guy, hope for a knockdown, not follow, and then run through that square.
Yeah, move the catcher and then run through that square. Yeah. Agree.
He's got the knockdown. Don't follow. Oh, man. This coach
okay, it's still fine. It's still fine. You just bring the...
Is it fine?
You bring the catcher and put him next to the warrior, and then you blitz.
I would quite like to throw the ball to this guy.
To the catcher?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be ideal, but I think you're hoping to push the ball out. Oh, okay. So it's going to be a 1 dice then.
No, unlucky. That's for reroll. Shirley. Yeah, there we go. So you can push into his own lineman here and get another 1 die, I think. Bit unlucky on the sack.
Yeah, for sure.
Still a lot to do for the Chaos Coach, though.
Yeah, well, as it has been almost every turn of this game since he put himself in kind of a difficult situation.
Yeah, I still feel like it's going to be a turn 8 score for the Chaos somehow.
It feels like it's trending that way, doesn't it? Like,
it's not a 1 die, it's a half die because the Chaos Warrior is unlocked. So
yeah, but you can dodge a guy. Yeah.
Just push. Bad block dice that turn.
Actually, I think the High Elves have not had good block dice this whole game, really. They got the 1 dice POW, but apart from that, they've kind of rolled a lot of pushes.
I mean, you need to be able to win games of Blood Bowl without rolling knockdowns all the time, particularly as Agi, where you should be trying to maneuver pushes so that you can get critical dice on the ball.
It's true, but it does make things easier if you roll some POWs.
It does make things a lot easier, it's true.
Anyway, so he's got 2 dice very easily on the strength catcher here with Tackle Mighty, so that's a little spooky. Strength thrower, rather.
Yeah, the Tackle Mighty Bow's been doing a bit of work this game so far.
It has, hasn't it? The AV8 has not really held out.
Grab value. Choose one of the 2 squares to push them into that you could push them into even if you didn't have grab. He's got a chain push now if he wants it. I think that's a 1 die at the moment. I don't know, 2 die.
Yeah, 1-2 assists, 1 counter.
There's 1 anti-assist, maybe it is. I can't count.
It's 2 assists, 1 counter assist, so it should be...
Elves should all be strength 3, so I don't have to do math.
Yeah, it's cheating. Strength 4 elf really is cheating, so it's a heck of a piece.
Strength 4 elf is, pretty damn good, isn't it? Kind of a weird build, though, I'd say.
Well, it's odd, isn't it? Because I'm sure all of those skills made sense when he took them. It's just that then he got strength right at the end.
Yeah. He's also got a niggle.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. But yeah, it's a bit of a weird piece. Not sure how I feel about high elf throws, because movement 6 feels really underwhelming for what you get. Like, safe pass seems to invite bad play, as far as I can tell.
You know, I've seen safe pass proc twice in my life, and once it was playing against the player was playing against a Kislev team, and the Kislev team had an Edge 6 catcher, and an Edge 6 Kislev catcher intercepts on a 2+.
Wow. So
this Edge 6 Kislev catcher intercepts on a 2+. And then, I don't know if you know this, but very long legs cancels safe throw. So one of the 2 times I've seen safe throw proc, it was cancelled by very long legs.
So it didn't even fire.
Yeah.
I think I intercepted Haringzord when he was playing High Elves with a Flesh Golem.
Really?
And
Amazing.
Safe throw did nothing. Which is pretty funny.
It is. Whereas most teams seem like fancy linos. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, Glava. And a lot of teams, they are fancy linos.
I think they tried to address that in the new rules a little bit. There's the POW. It's been coming.
They did, but basically by making everything pass terribly.
I think there is now a reason to take, for example, the Skaven thrower.
I quite like the Skaven thrower anyway. I mean, I know I'm in sort of a minority there.
Yeah, I think on developed teams, I guess it's good for one turns because you just got... Because, I mean, you might roll Agi on it, in which case it becomes just an amazing piece because it's 2 plus the pass and 2 plus to pick up.
My feeling is it's just not very expensive. Like, that's the reason that I don't mind it, is that you're only paying 20k over a lineman anyway. So if you just treat it like a lineman, and this has really fallen apart for the high elves here, hasn't it?
It has. They've just been taking consistent knockouts. I mean, it's definitely because these have just been knockouts. They haven't been Kaz. I think they're still in with a really good shot. They might even stop the score if they get.
Well, here's a question: do you even want to stop the score at this point?
No, probably not. It's probably just start hitting some beastmen, disconnect a bit, but yeah, I think they played correctly to commit to the sack.
I agree.
I think maybe they should have been a little bit more bold with the sack a little bit earlier, rather than waiting till next turn and giving the Chaos the kind of chance to get the initiative back.
Yeah, it's been funny, hasn't it? Because you'd say that the Chaos have made, in some ways, quite a few more mistakes than the High Elves.
I think so, yeah. I think that...
But they just haven't really been punished for them, whereas the High Elves have had to commit really hard to try and punish the mistakes, and in doing so, have lost players.
I like this, Blitz and Base.
Yeah, it seems reasonable to me. Although it's just going to get hit by Mighty Blow, isn't it?
Of course, but... eating the double skull like a boss, saving it for the one turn.
That's good lad.
Witch Elves in the new rules, 5 plus the pass is... Frankly, I don't know what they were thinking.
It's pretty absurd, isn't it?
It's just like... I guess maybe it's because we used to... all elves be good at passing.
Yeah.
But just, I like, thematically, why are they so bad? Are they just so angry? They're just so enraged that they can't throw the ball. And their throwing is worse than a goblin.
Oh, great.
Awful. Anyway.
Yeah, worse than the skink. Worse than all the stunties, I guess. All the stunties are 4+.
Yeah, it's like a Black Orc level of throwing.
Except chameleon skinks, who pass on a 3+.
They do. I think the one chameleon skink strategy is pretty good because you've got on the ball for 1 turn and then 3+ for 1 and 2 turns.
I agree. I think a one-off chameleon skink is a useful piece.
High elf catchers. Are they 5? They're not 5+. Surely not Dreamify.
A high elf catcher's 5+. That's hilarious.
I don't believe so. That would be insane. I'm just gonna jump on Fumble real quick. Google that. They made catchers bad at throwing. It's a completely different skill set, obviously. Like one is is allowing the ball to enter your hand and holding onto it. The other is releasing the ball. They're in fact opposite skills.
That's true.
In every possible way.
It's true. In fact, it's well known that whenever someone gets good at throwing, they become automatically bad at catching.
Oh my god, Dreamfly's right. 5+ passing on high elf throwers. Oh, sorry, on high elf catchers. Lyman are better, yeah.
But Glava, like, all the elves are kind of shit at passing now. Like, it's not like War Dancers are good at passing. War Dancers have been crapped on as well, and so have Woody Catchers. It's just the throwers that are good.
But at least they didn't add a fail state that's even worse than fumbling the ball. You know, that would be awful.
Yeah, that would be really unfortunate. Where is he putting the ball, by the way?
I don't know, I've stopped looking at the game. He is potatoing.
He is potatoing. Okay, fair enough. Is it out of range?
There's a catcher.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, the catcher, the dodge catcher's just in range, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just straight up in range.
He can screen off quite well with a Chaos Warrior here, but
I guess,
it's
yeah.
not super safe. Yeah, Delph have 3+ passing on runners. That player you want to take on every team. I mean, you've got dodge on the catcher. I think this is a decent sack attempt, to be honest. Oh, you're dodging past tackle. That sucks. And he won't want to use. He won't want to use his
a reroll. No, it's not great, is it? Because now that Chaos Warrior is there, I don't actually know what the route through is anymore. Because
I think you just go straight forward.
So take the 4-3 too.
You could Oh no, that's probably wrong, isn't it? Usually taking lots of 2+ is better than taking difficult.
Agreed.
Usually.
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2 GFIs for a 1 dice sack, yeah. And then you have to.
It doesn't go for it.
Doesn't go for it. Blitz and base, I think that's reasonable. Reasonable alternative here. You can hope for a quad skulls or a failed dodge or something.
I think because he can put the catcher on the ball as well, he can try and force at least a 1 in 9 dodge out, right?
Thank you for the raid, Lich. Appreciate it. Yeah, I agree. I think everyone being bad at passing, I think, is fine. It's like it's just a choice, right? I think I think I would have made it so that all elves bar throwers pass on a 3+ maybe. Something like that. So it's like a -1 to passing for all elves except for throwers.
Oh, well, this is very easy to get rid of now. You just blitz with the ball. You just need a push.
Yeah, doesn't have quite enough sort of.
That's why I'd have liked the double base.
Yeah. Double base would be good.
All of his blood step's gone, isn't it? I mean, that's part of the problem. All of his
good players have been KO'd.
And I think I would even take I think you can make it 3 dice on the catcher. No, you can only make it 2. So I would take the 2 dice with Tackle Mighty on the catcher with just dodge. That seems like a value hit. I'm not sure I would take the other hits.
I think I don't think passing should have been increased in Power Glover. I just think it was kind of balanced pretty well in the old rule set. Like if they made a pass, you're like, okay, fine. You're taking a risk. You're doing something flashy. You can have that one turn where you just pull off a 6+ long bomb. You know, happy days. But yeah, the making it a lot worse basically means everyone has to play a running game. Passing is literally often 6+ is the best you're going to get. I don't like rolling these dice before the critical action here, to be honest.
Well, as I said, I think I would take this hit too, the hit on the catcher, just because it's such a high value hit to take. I wouldn't take any other punches. That's the only one.
I think he is going to take other punches.
He might, but I wouldn't. I just like the Mighty Blow against defenseless AV7, a really good piece as well. Good piece, but like an important piece as well. But yeah.
All right, I'm going to check on my pie. Give me a sec.
Enjoy. We also had a raid. The Lich is here with 2 underscores. Witchfinder. Oh, he's actually blitzing this way. Okay, fair enough. This is fine too. I guess it's slightly better fail state. Does it require a GFI though? I think that required a GFI, which is a bit odd because you could have just blitzed with the ball and not required a GFI. Oh, and he is taking the hits. Jeez. I don't know. Let's see if he takes the blockless hits. Takes the one with wrestle. My feeling about passing is that, to some extent, like, people who have come to Blood Bowl from, like, American football or what have you, which is a small but non-zero percentage of people who play this game, find it very unintuitive the way that Blood Bowl is supposed to be played optimally. Whereas people who've come, and part of that is the fact that passing is so much of a desperation slash niche play. And I think it's always better in the rules if you can make the rules push you in the direction of doing the things you intuitively want to do. So anyone out of 4 KOs back is pretty brutal. It's going to make that one turn a lot harder. And I don't think he got any of his good pieces back either. I think he just got a loner, which is pretty awful. If he doesn't get at least one of the stat up players back for the second drive, I think he could be in a lot of trouble here.
Yikes. That is unfortunate. All 3 of his well, how much? That's like all of his. That's his entire team, isn't it?
Yeah, his team is just been KO'd and decided not to wake up.
in the KO box than on the rest of his team combined.
Yeah, not even close, is it?
Not even close. Unless you're counting low.
Oh dear. It's not really a skill, is it? My skill is that I'm bad at the game. Yeah. And he's going to make this one turn very tricky, isn't it?
I mean, nigh on impossible. You need a quick snap at least, I'd say.
He's got a catcher, so he's got a move 8 piece.
Still 3 pushes, I think.
But I think 3 pushes is doable, especially against this setup. This setup doesn't look particularly strong.
I don't know.
The three. So you've got 8 pieces. I think you can do a move 8 one turn with 8 pieces.
I think it's possible, yeah, for sure.
What's going to be tricky, I think, is it's probably going to be a lot of pushes with loners. This setup is actually not very good by the Chaos, the way they've done this, because they've actually made it so that you don't have to push a strength 4 piece for the initial hit, because they have a Beastman that's in a T shape to push the guard down and use that as the scoring piece, as the pushing piece.
I think I think the Chaos has probably been more error prone than the coach, I'd say.
Plus, this also makes your backline actually slightly weaker, because dodging round the sides of the backline is easier than dodging. So you only dodge through 1 tackle zone instead of through 2.
Yeah, normally players put 1 extra player on the backline to make it -2 on the first dodge.
But okay, I mean, it's still, even with all of that, it's still not favourite for the High Elves to do this, and I actually don't think they've set up to try for the 1 turn here, so it's sort of irrelevant.
I'm not sure I agree with that, Dreamify, because making it more skill based is not the feeling I get from a lot of the star players and special rules and stuff.
Well, the star players and special rules, I agree with you. But it does seem like they tried to tone down the 2 things that were most hated by competitive players, which is natties and claw bomb, right?
Yeah, I think that's an absolutely fine goal. But why kill passing alongside it?
It is odd, isn't it? I think they just didn't know what would happen when they did that to passing. They just messed up, basically. They were like, "Oh, we didn't realize we'd made passing worse." Which, if it's true, is kind of shocking. Or goes for the loner reroll, but doesn't get it.
I reckon the people who make the game probably don't realize how bad passing is if you're trying to win, if you're trying to play competitively.
That's what I think. That's what I basically think. I think it's the same mindset that a lot of people, who, as I say, were coming from American football or whatever, who played this game, intuitively think that passing is the way that you should play, because that's how they play in American football, which of course this game isn't.
I think that's actually quite a big failure of Blood Bowl's game design.
Agree.
Because it's really hard to understand as a new player why you shouldn't be throwing on the thrower or catching on the catcher, because you think I'm gonna do a 2 or 3 turn passing play. That's gonna be fun. Oh shit! I keep getting 2-1 grinded into the dirt. You know.
Yeah. And stalling as well. So stalling is one that catches so many new players off guard. It's like, why would I stall till turn 8? That doesn't make any sense. If you're playing a game of football, you don't stall till turn 8, do you? But it's so different because, for one thing, the ball is much less available than it would be in an equivalent football game. You can make it so much safer. And for another thing, time is so much quicker. There's only 16 turns, which I know works out to an hour when you're actually playing it, but
I think that's true as well.
Comparative number of scores.
Brainlord. I think they added. I think that's separate. I think that introducing a passing stat and making some players bad at passing, where in previous editions they were pretty good at passing. I think that was a decision. I think that I think separately they've decided, let's have a random skill level up mechanic. That'll be fun. And then they've realized that passing skills suck, and they've had to turn accurate into 2 skills, add a load of shit. Like, it's awful. Really,
it's amazing. Bad. It's amazing they somehow managed to make the worst skill tree worse.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I mean, at least
somehow.
At least you still have leader, the only skill that does nothing to passing.
Yeah. I think there should be more skills that do nothing for passing, because actually it's almost impossible to have skills that do things for a single action to such an extent. Because the edge skill tree has things that do things for GFIs, things that do things for dodges, things that do things for catches, things. So and there's 7 or 8 different actions that are all covered by the edge skill tree, whereas passing is one action, which is of course you're never going to find 12 skills for one action.
I was pondering one day what skills I would have added to passing to make it better. Because as you point out, you're limited because you just have the one thing that you do, and it's one action. It's one type of action, except for leader, obviously. Those are the only things that ever get affected. So I was thinking, how can you actually make it good? I think making passing work on a D8
that's interesting.
Would be better, because it gives you a lot. Because at the moment, the downside of passing is, if I roll double 1, that's just it. And that's true of all agi tests in Blood Bowl 2, right? But if it was a D8, your probability of rolling essentially a double 1 is a lot lower.
That's true.
And then,
but I mean, they're very. Clara's said this before, I know, but they're very wedded to their D6 system, so don't think they'll ever change to D8.
But they've got D16 for the team.
That is true.
Thing the level up to D12.
The scatter is a D8, but that's just
D8. That's what I'm saying. You already have a D8 in the dice set.
That is true.
Not saying it's a great idea, but
I was thinking you could lean into more stuff like pro. For example, what if you had a skill that was mentor, where at the end of the game you could give another player 2 SPP if your mentor was playing the game or something.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Yeah, not a fan.
No, I'm not a fan of that at all. That'll just make teams snowball even harder.
I guess. But I mean, you have redraft anyway.
Yeah, 2 dice block, I think would make sense as well. Dreamify, yeah.
Actually, that's a cool idea. If you had a passing dice which had different results on it somehow.
Well, I thought, one of the ways you could do it would be to say randomize the direction and randomize the distance as though it was an actual ball being thrown. And that was my intuitive understanding of what the mechanics of a pass would be in Blood Bowl. It'd be you say where you want the ball to go, and then it sort of scatters if you roll badly, and then it can go in a different direction, or you can throw it too far or too short. But
it's also the turnover mechanic that makes it bad, right? If you could throw the pass, but then have a chance to go and pick it up.
Oh, that would also be fucking horrendous. Can you imagine Skaven with that?
No, I agree. No, it would be horrible, but that's one of the reasons that passing is so bad compared to passing in real life.
Yeah,
right?
I think roll 2, even if you just take the stat lines of the players as they are at the moment, I think roll 2, choose 1 would be quite interesting. Because your throwers are still making a successful pass 35 out of 36 times.
Mm.
Goblins are making a successful pass 75% of the time, if it, assuming short passes or quick passes.
Are we talking about the bomber here, or just passing? Because the bomber doesn't need to be more reliable. If the bomber's more reliable, it's horrible. Because
no, they've buffed the bomber a good amount.
I think so. I don't think it needs any more buffs because you don't want it so that they just, you cannot cage because the bomber will just bomb you every turn.
True. I mean, just cage loosely. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, fair.
I must form a 5-player cage in a square. Oh no!
But even so, I mean, if they just throw the ball at your ball carrier every turn, it's kind of enough. So AndyonGC has gone through kind of spread out offense, very elfish. And
having chaos. I think he's trying to spread out the chaos team here, and then do a passing play at some point, which I think is an alright strategy. He does need to score at some point, and he doesn't want to give the chaos too much time, so this makes sense. He's trusting a little bit in his thrower. He could do like a man in the middle play to get the ball right the way up the pitch when he needs to.
I mean, it's kind of a classically elfy offense, isn't it? I always think there's like a few different ways you could run the elf offense, and this is the one I think of as the front back offense.
Yeah,
because like you throw some players forwards, you keep the ball back, and you commit to moving the ball when you're going to move it on a pass or on a handoff. Whereas there's also like the front offense, which is like what Delves often do, where everyone goes forwards with the ball, and then there's like what people have taken to calling the Dakar, where everybody runs back and you try and run past them. And I think of this as like the kind of the front back. I don't know. That's the way I think of it. Anyway, big KO there. Nice to get rid of a guard.
Yeah, that is a good job, Lona. I think what this does is probably exposes players who aren't as good. It's because they have to decide whether they go for the ball or they go for the scoring threats, or they just go for maximizing blocks and ignore the ball somewhat, or ignore the scoring threats. So I think this kind of puts the choice onto your opponent, which I think is quite interesting.
Yeah, and also if they do what the Chaos player has done here, you get to take advantage of one of the things that elves can do, which is you can pick and choose your fights, right? Like you can say, well, these guys I can't fight, and these guys I'm going to bring dodge out this guy, assist this guy, hit this guy, right? Mm-hmm. Because the Chaos get all spread out, so they don't get to just drown you in strength and guard.
The Chaos haven't exposed too many of their beastmen.
No, that is one thing they've done quite well.
That are going to be in the fray. But yeah, use the space. Use the whole pitch. Use the space effectively. I think is a good strategy. Pretty ambitious dodge there. Deciding not to reroll. Good discipline, I think.
Yeah, agree. It's interesting that he went for the 3+ there, though. Wonder where he was going.
Interesting that he didn't blitz with his good blitzer. Just stood him up.
Also true. Something we mentioned, forgot to mention, the High Elves did get 2 of their stat up players back, so they're not completely lost this drive.
Yeah, that's true. We were whinging about Blood Bowl 2020.
Passing, yeah. But actually, they didn't get the thrower.
But AndyonGC is as good at throwing, just without the skill reroll.
Yeah, and they don't get the strength for, which I'm sure they would love to have. But
well, I mean, they got if this game goes long, they've got another chance or 2 to get them back.
Yes. Well, I mean, yeah. I think they're playing for this.
I think they're playing for overtime. They have to be.
But because I mean, if you don't play for overtime, it's almost strictly worse, isn't it? Right? Because let's say you score on turn. Okay, the advantage is you get into a fight for less long, but this is an Achilles Chaos team. So it's not just going to blow you off the pitch, most likely.
Yeah.
But the disadvantage is you can where if you score early, you can never win the toss, essentially. Whereas if you go to overtime, you could win the toss, so it could be you receiving. So it seems to me to be almost strictly better to play for overtime if you can, unless you're getting beaten up.
Yeah, I can see that. So there's a little pocket that the High Elves could get into on the right-hand side at the moment.
They absolutely could. And they did just lose another player, random KO.
I feel like they've been a bit unlucky with Armor 8, to be honest.
I think so too.
It could have been better.
But AV8 can break. It's not impossible that this happens, you know.
No, it's not, but it often breaks a lot. Like, against Chaos, it's normally, oh, I'm taking Mighty Blow hits on AV8. That's annoying. But there's just been a lot of just straight up blocks.
It has, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not even like the tackle Mighty Blow got the removal on a couple of these guys, is it? It's just been random hits. Yeah. But there have been quite a few random hits because he chose to go for the 3+ dodge rather than dodging off the rest of his team first.
Yeah, I think 2+. If that was a regular, if this was not a knockout game, I think he might have re-rolled that 3+, just to prevent the counter hits.
I think you might be right.
AV8 is weird spot. Yeah, I agree, Glava. I think AV8 is a bit weird. It's like it is really good. Too. It's like it's underrated.
I hate AV8.
Yeah, I think it's underrated, to be honest.
I hate AV8. It's one of the reasons I don't enjoy Undead and Necro that much. Is I don't like having AV8 linemen because they just go off the pitch.
Got regen. Oh, so much regen.
But zombies are so bad.
They're the best. They're the best player in the game. What are you talking about?
They're like the worst player in the game. Fucking hate them. They're so slow.
For 40k.
Yeah, but I don't care how much they cost. Like, fuck, Noblars cost 10k and they're terrible.
That's true. No, zombies are so good. Yeah, I agree with Brennel. Zombies are so good.
I hate zombies. I hate them.
Everyone,
I think they're the most overrated linemen in the game.
Oh, they are. Hot take. Oh,
I think they are. Because everyone loves them, and they're not that good.
They're amazing. Orc Linos.
Yeah, Orc Linos are good. The funny thing about Orc Linos is they're one of the better linemen in the game, and you get like none of them because you have 8 positionals that you have to take, and then like 1 optional troll. So like often you end up with like 2 to 3 linemen, despite the fact that they're actually kind of good linemen. Whereas a team like Skaven has kind of mediocre linemen, and they have to take like 6 of them or something. 5.
So he's fumbled the pass. Or sorry, was that fumbled too? Maybe not fumble. Pass
that is a fumble.
Catch is good. He's based up the Beastman here, but there is a 3+2 die that's going to be pretty easy. He can maybe...
Yeah.
That hit helps a bit. You can get another catcher in the mix. Can possibly screen off a bit. Maybe do some more dodges.
Yeah. He didn't need to go this turn, did he? He's chosen to go.
I mean, there's an argument to just seeing that so for example, the Chaos have committed quite heavily on the other side of the pitch. So
that's true.
You know you're going to get 1 turn of respite. If you
that is true. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily wrong. I'm just saying he didn't need
roll
to.
3+. I think I would have done. It's a shame that wasn't a knockdown. But that Beastman has now got no easy dodge path.
Yeah, that's a really good play.
I mean, he needs to roll like
2, 3, 4, 5. So he can still dodge out with the Chaos Warrior. It's only 1 GFI, and in fact, the block Chaos Warrior, the block Chaos Warrior doesn't need any GFIs on the left-hand side.
Block Chaos Warrior. Which one?
He's being marked by Adge at the moment.
Oh yeah, I always forget that the Chaos Warrior dodge is actually really good.
Yeah, it's Edge 3. They're just casually Edge 3. It's one of the things I quite like about Chaos compared to Nurgle is that when the worst comes to the worst, you can still play like kind of mediocre humans, right? Like you have that option, which you just do not have as Nurgle, for example.
He doesn't go for your hit though, and he's punched into sidestep, which is always a bit of a Faustian pact.
Yeah, I think I would have gone for the 3+ dodge here. I think it's just a really good opportunity to put yourself in a really good situation. Because if you get it, like maybe you even pick up the ball, and then he somehow got to sack and strength 4, and maybe he can do that. He's got some pieces around, but
yeah, he has a wrestle, but he would need you need an assist, you'd think.
You need an assist, and you could perhaps even bring other players round to try and make it harder as well. So I don't know. I think I would have gone for it, but it looks like he's freed up his killer instead.
Don't like this at all. I mean, a blitz kickoff event here, assuming the high elf score next turn, and it's really going to be they get another chance at their KOs. Don't like this. I think I would have gone for the sack.
I think you had to. Like, I don't think you're getting a better opportunity to just immediately win the game. I say win the game. It's not just immediately win the game.
I mean,
but put yourself in a really
stall here. They could even stall for a turn.
Yeah, they can definitely stall. That is There's just been no pressure put on by the Chaos here at all.
Yeah, Chaos Warriors are ridiculously stacked. Movement 5, it's just really good. Agi 3.
Yeah, Chaos Warriors are great. Chaos Warriors are great. 5-3. What was it? 5-3-4-9, something like that.
Yeah.
I can never remember you put strength or edge first. 5-4-3-9, I think. Yeah. Anyway,
it's a bash game. Strength always comes first. Everyone knows.
Yes, fair.
So the thing with zombies, right, is
we're back to zombies.
Are they good in every matchup? They're
not though. They're terrible against elves. They're so slow.
No, fine. You just mark the elves that don't have dodge, and eventually you'll get a turnover.
How do you even reach an elf? It just walks away from you.
Yeah, on a 2+.
3 turns later, you catch up to the elf after it's dodged away.
This is some bullshit thought experiment we're doing right now, where there's only one zombie and one elf on the pitch, and the elf is just running away.
I think with that KO, the stall is a little bit tricky.
Yeah, he's been getting bad on the old KOs.
He has.
At least he had some decent roll at the start of the half. I think I'm scoring here. Yeah, he's scoring.
I think I am too. Because just because you lost that piece, you can't really hold it now.
Could have taken a 2 dice block somewhere, perhaps, but decided not to.
Ooh.
Didn't even
yeah, it's a double GFI.
It is double GFI. Bad KO rolls for the elves. Sad face. Good KO rolls for the chaos. Oh.
Strength 4 has now failed 3 KO rolls in a row.
Yeah.
I think this is really bad news. Can't be killed now, true. But you still have to roll another 4+ to get it back, Seb. So
I think 4 turns is hard to stop.
It's not like, yeah, and this is what we're saying, you know, Chaos have move 6, they have edge 3, they're not, in fact, they even have move 7 in this particular case. They're not like dwarves or Nurgle, or they have the ability to actually move up the pitch in a relatively reasonable leg.
And they're outnumbered. Oh, they've got a 3-man advantage as well. Or 3.
Yeah.
3 player, I should say.
Now, in the first half, they didn't do a good job of protecting the ball. And they'll have to do better in this half. Basically, that's what it's going to come down to, because the leap sacker is back, so that opportunity is back.
Yeah, the value of a zombie is that your team just is so much cheaper at the same level of development as like an elf team.
That's fair. I don't value inducements that highly. I'd rather have skills. I mean, wizards are great.
Wizards are good. Cheney is pretty
Cheney's great. I mean, Cheney's great, but he's 250k. If you're down 250k, would you rather be the team with Cheney or the team who's up 250k in bash skills? I don't know.
I think maybe when you're at the same TV, you have just so much. You have so many more skills. Is the counter argument to that, because you've got a full roster. And
that's fair.
A 2000 TV Elf team versus a 2000 TV Necro team. My money is on the Necro every time.
It is kind of wild when you look at some of these. I think particularly Nurgle, Chaos, and some of the elves. So like Nurgle and elves, they'll be like 1800 TV and they'll have like 5 skills. Like how is that possible?
Yeah, Nurgle don't stop developing until like 2300.
Pretty much.
Although at that TV, they actually have an interesting quandary, which is that sparring expenses is so bad that as soon as they do start losing players, they just have no money to replace them, and they can go into like a bit of a spiral sometimes.
I have seen that happen. It's funny because you'd think that with all of the kill skills and the rotters that they get for free that they would be all right, but they can just. I mean, rotters die quite quickly as well, especially at that TV where everything has mighty blow.
If Chaos got some more Ajax, I think you could make a very cool hybrid team from them. The Sage did a kind of mock-up Slanesh team at one point that I thought was quite interesting, where he had like a no hands, like a demonette with no hands but had claws, that kind of thing, and then some agi access on the team as well, and not just pure strength.
I think they will do something that's kind of Ag plus mutations at some point, and it will be Slanesh themed.
Yeah, I mean they've left the game space available for Favored of Tzeentch and Favored of Slanesh to come in. So at the moment, I don't really know what Favored of Tzeentch would look like, but Slanesh have often had a speed thing. Yeah,
and a kind of
like glass cannon
thing.
Yeah, for sure.
So it would make sense to me that they end up with some amount of Ag and Ag access, and end up maybe being a team kind of similar to Rats, except like maybe a bit different,
with mutation access, or with I guess Rats already have mutation access.
Yeah, that's the thing, but like with more consistent mutation access, because the Rats have to roll doubles for it, right?
Yes. That's true.
And maybe not quite as fast because Rats are blazingly quick.
Yeah, CL Fumble team. I don't love the CL Fumble team. It just feels like they've just tweaked the sliders on High Elves to make them more armored and slower. It's like
Underworld do exist, and Underworld kind of do that. But realistically, the best way to play Underworld is as a 1300 like. You get them to 1300 TV with Clawpom when no one else has 2 Clawpommers, and just be the bash team at that TV. And then as soon as they get higher TV, they get worse and worse. I don't know.
Oh, you say that. Have you seen Spartacus's team?
I have played against Spartacus's team. I know. He's
incredible. He's got an incredible team. He's got 3 legends.
He does. It is a beautiful team. I have no idea how he kept all of those runners and stuff alive, but... this is looking horrible for the Elves, by the way. They've just lost 2 players off the line of scrimmage. The bribe's still kicking, literally.
Yeah. This is looking pretty done.
Yeah. Now, the one thing is, the Chaos don't really have any spare movement. They have to get down the pitch, because they didn't take any space that turn. And the kick was kind of deep.
Yeah, but you can just grind up the center.
They can, yeah.
And then switch flanks next turn.
Because they had 4 turns, they have just enough time just to do that, right? They don't have to...
Yeah, Wrestlehorn, Sack a Gobbo sounds amazing.
Dreams.
Or would you rather have Wrestle, Strip Ball, Sack a Goblin? Because then you just don't give a shit about red dice at all.
And as they move up the pitch, naturally there might be more opportunities for the sack leap play. Just because you're closer, right?
Yeah. It does feel like quite a classic mid-TV Agi Chaos matchup so far.
It does, but I think it's strange that it does, because the Chaos just don't have any kill skills and have somehow removed all the elves anyway.
Yeah, it kind of feels like I do like low TV Blood Bowl sometimes.
Me too. I like TV. This is actually the TV at which I enjoy Blood Bowl the most. If it's too low TV, you don't have the like reliability skills, so
Yeah.
everything you do kind of is like really dicey. Like playing Lizards at 1000 TV, for example, is kind of you're just hoping you don't roll the 1 in 9s because you don't have the rerolls to even manage it, even if you do. So it's like, okay, I hope I don't.
Well, yeah, but you don't roll. You just take all of your 2-die blocks with your strength 4 guys. Who cares?
Yeah, and then you fail half of them.
You play around the 1 in 9s. Lizards are so good at a 1000 TV.
They're good, but they're dicey. That's my feeling. Like if they don't fail their dice, they're almost unbeatable at 1000 TV. But then sometimes they have those games where they just roll. Every other block is a turnover, and it's just impossible to play. This is going to be sackable, isn't it? If he's putting the ball where it looks like he's putting the ball.
Yes, he's doing another base cage, but this time against significantly fewer elves.
Yeah, but it's not just the base cage. Like the jump in is just going to be a 2+1 dice. Because his guard is not in a his guard is not well positioned.
I mean, it will be fine. I feel like the Chaos Coach is just going to be fine here. But yeah, very easy. Dodge off. Mark 4 Beastmen. 1-die sack with Wrestle. And then just bomb it through with the Agi. He's Agi down. Agi up, Agi down. Yeah.
Yeah, the edge down. Edge up, edge down. Edge up, edge down.
The Chaos can... the Chaos. The High Elves can have fantastic turn this turn, and I think that's what they should play for.
Yeah, so
your screen is.
If you get the sack this turn, maybe you can collect with the tackle blodger and just run up the pitch or something. I don't know. It's possible. Just run away.
Yeah, postseason always seems to be dominated by chaos, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Chaos.
I mean, regular season has been dominated by chaos. It's because everything is fucking chaos. There's so many chaos and Necro in GMAN. GMAN is just like infinite, a sea of Necro. It's just Necro as far as the eye can see, seasoned with a little chaos.
I think we had 3, maybe 8 Necro teams in the top 3 divisions in GMAN.
In terms of like my matchups I've played.
Ooh, there it is. Good sack. I think I'd follow this. Make this pick up on make the catching the bouncing ball harder for the chaos, but not a great scatter really. Needed a better.
No, it's horrible. That is absolutely horrible. That's a nightmare.
You gotta reroll.
Maybe
this.
Yeah.
Gotta reroll this. Dodge tackle is kind of weird on that high elf.
Isn't it a blodger or is it not?
Just a line.
Oh, that's weird. I thought it was a blodger.
Oh no, shit! I'm wrong. It is a blodger. Big power, big boys. Yeah, he's had 2 good 1-die sacks. And he just runs away in Blodge we trust, or Rodge, I suppose in this case. You can even screen with some good dodging here.
Yeah, the tackle gets in the way easily, but it's the second part of the screen that's tough. You might have to like 3-3-2 through.
No, but if he gets it. I think the high elf blitzer is slightly taller. Let me see. They've got slightly different hats.
They've got different hats. That's the only way I know.
but you're so zoomed out. Yeah, the high elf blitzer has got little wingy things.
Yeah.
That's how you can tell. But you zoomed out, you just can't fucking see it.
You just can't see. No, it's awful. I just assumed that it was a blitzer because of the skills it had.
No, that is.
Oh, it doesn't quite make it.
Doesn't quite make it. He was needed some 3s that turn to finish off the screen, but didn't manage to do it. He has based a good amount of the chaos team here, so there is a chance that they don't manage to have a good turn here. They do need a sack. They can come in with a 2-die.
The tackle can get there is the problem. The tackle can easily get there. You can free up the tackle and he goes and sacks the ball.
I think what you're hoping for here is just bad dice.
I mean, yes, yeah. I think so. But to be honest, you may also have done enough to make it to overtime now, with the time left in the game. Maybe you've taken the ball far enough away, because you've got... you don't have sidestep. Also, the tackle has grab, so it doesn't matter if you have sidestep or not.
Grab value.
Grab value. But yeah, you might just be hoping that you get a decent scatter.
I'll put all the skills.
It takes a couple of turns for the chaos to just.
Yeah, I didn't like that sack.
To get the ball back.
I could have done it with tackle.
Could have done it with tackle.
It was a GFI though, so I suppose. So he's going to be hoped for no break here. Oh shit. Hope for a. The ball can't really bounce anywhere except into the high elf's hands. Nope. This is bad, but we could be going to overtime here. He needs some scoring threats this turn. Hopefully he doesn't forget. That would be bad. Yeah,
that's the thing, right? Like the sack was disruptive, even if it didn't end up, getting him the win. It still slowed the chaos down, and they were looking rather inevitable because there just weren't enough elves to get in the way. So,
I don't hate dwarves. Coming on to what chat talking about.
It was alright.
I think there was like a balancing force in Blood Bowl. It's like you can have your fun teams and your agi teams, and then there's just some guy who's just gonna like grind you down. It's like the yin and the yang of playstyles.
Yeah, for sure. I think they sort of need to exist, but also like I can appreciate why people don't like them, because when they work, it feels absolutely hopeless playing against them, because you're just like, well, there's just this wall of dwarves and I can't do anything, right? Like, yeah, when it's working, which is kind of unpleasant. But
I don't know, it's a pretty how good of a matchup is it for lizards? Do you think?
What, dwarves? I think it's a slightly overrated matchup for lizards. I don't think it's amazing. I think it's okay. It depends a bit on how much guard the two teams have, for sure.
Yeah.
At low TV, what's weird is they can just one dice you, which is like, so they can sort of just base you up and one dice you, and it sort of works some of the time. And it's very frustrating to play against, because all you can do is take your 2 dice back, and they're all armor 9 thick skull, and they don't care.
I think
and then the skinks can't contribute. The skinks can't contribute at all. So there's always this weird balancing act where I'm trying to keep my skinks close enough that they can, if there's an opportunity, I can make use of it with my skinks, but far enough away so that they're not just all getting based up by longbeards and just being, absolutely ruined by the fact that there's all these tackle pieces in the game. So it's this weird balancing act with the skinks as well. I think it's definitely favourable for lizards, but I think it's not the worst matchup for dwarves. I think dwarves' worst matchup is probably something like orcs, who are a bit more reliable, also have the strength to make it difficult for them. At low TV, I mean.
Surely, at low TV, yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, at high TV, it's the claw teams, right? But
not sure I love that dodge. Where are the scoring threats? He has a few.
He does have a few.
So now, if you're the high elf coach...
Oh, I don't like running away from the guard, because now it's just another 1-die sack on. I guess you move the guard. The guard hasn't been activated yet.
Yeah, we've got a P cage, I guess. It's a bit like a P.
Yeah, it is kind of an eye cage, isn't it? It is good enough.
Yeah, it's good enough, you'd think.
And the goat isn't actually in range because he's movement 7. So there's a guarantee you need a handoff next turn. In fact, I think there's only 2, 1, 2, 3, 4,
6. There's
4 scoring threats. The four people below the 9 line are all scoring threats.
Weird blitz choice, but I think he's just doing the old blitz and base here, rely on some sidestep.
I think that's right.
Oh, an instant reroll. No, I'm not sure that was wise. The grab guy's right there, but he does need a handoff.
Well, if he doesn't reroll, he loses on a 3+. So maybe he had to reroll.
True. Oh, that's true, because that's a good point. I don't want to roll a lot of dice splits, but I need to make this GFI. Yeah.
I think this is just a little bit too easy because he has grab. Grab is going to win this game.
Grab value.
Grab value. I mean, it was what's like 75% even without grab because you get the
who needs claw?
The
Who
4 dice, but
who needs juggernaut even?
It's grab, baby, grab.
It's all about grab.
So the way to do it, right, is you hand off. Is you punch that guy out the way, and then you hand off to the block goat. That's the best scoring threat you have.
Yeah, 3+2+. After you've done this blitz, you can make it 3-die blitz as well.
Yeah,
which is good. You probably crowd players around the handoff guy.
Yeah, just for the scatter.
For the scatter here, if you have the movement. You do have the movement on some of them. Don't roll any more dice. Don't tempt.
Yeah, there's no need to roll dice. Like, I like rolling dice, potentially. Taking a value hit when there's another drive to be played and getting rid of a player could be valuable. Seems okay to me.
5 KOs and a Kaz. I don't
but
think you need more removals.
This time, there's no more drive, right? Like, you just roll the dice and the drive is done, so you don't need to roll anything else. You just go score, because it's turn 16.
And this could be game.
Let's see.
Players are exchanging pleasantries, perhaps.
Oh, gets the catch.
Yeah. Well played. I think the High Elves can count themselves a bit unlucky.
I think they can too.
On a few fronts, I think the KO rolls were pretty bad. Armor 8 was kind of meh, that game for you. And the sacks, just nothing came of them, unfortunately. But both times, the sacks just were not sufficient to deny the chaos.
Yeah, and it's funny because they should have been in some ways, because they were pretty decent sack attempts and sack outcomes. It's just that the scatters were never really in a place the High Elves wanted them to be somehow. But I don't know. It felt like maybe there were opportunities to just get the ball out of the way more after some of those sacks. Like
he had a natty one-turner. The High
Elves did he? Oh my god!
Unlucky.
Also, if he got, for example, that 3-3-2 dodge through, he just wins, right? Like it's almost impossible to stop him after the second sack.
Beastman could have got around the screen, but yeah, it would have been a lot. It would have been very, very difficult.
Oh well, it was a fun game to watch anyway. Interesting game for sure.
Yeah, it was quite refreshing from seeing 2000 TV mirrors.
Yeah, for sure. But 53 blocks given away by the High Elves is quite a lot. So it's probably part of the reason.
I think probably they're at the tipping point in terms of team value where you can't give away that many blocks. I think that's fine at low team value, High Elves, to give away that, because you can just rely on the armor. You can win the game with a few players as long as you can string together like a 2-turn and stuff. But yeah, maybe a bit too basey. A lot of blocks given up.
But I mean, the base part of the reason he was basing was because there were opportunities to right, like that. It wasn't random basing. It was because the ball was sackable.
I think that first turn, not going for the pickup.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that was maybe the turn that, just put the advantage back on the chaos, because they can just mess around for 5 turns, pick up the ball, run it in, because it happened so early in the half.
Yeah. Also, actually, that the very next turn when he chose not to scatter the ball, that was an opportunity that he didn't give himself the opportunity to win. Like, it wouldn't necessarily have won in the game, but it would have given him an opportunity to win the game, and he didn't go for it, which I thought was overly conservative.
Yeah, he could have. I mean, maybe that's just an experience thing, or playoff nerves or something. But he could have scattered the ball with sidestep, and chose not to. Yeah, that's true, Dreamify. when you go down numbers, you have to like give up blocks in order to try and make something happen. You try to
absolutely,
sort of playing into like high variance where they get unlucky and then you can capitalize, because if you just wait it out and screen off and take more blitz a turn, you just get ground down.
Yeah. No, 100%. 100%. But it's strange that a game where the Chaos have one mighty blow ended up being decided largely by removals.
So many KOs.
So many KOs.
I hate the KO mechanic as well. If we're winning.
Do you, with the 4+?
I think there's a way of making it have the same expectation value without it being, oh, you just lose this game. Sorry.
Because you rolled a bunch of.
You rolled a bunch of. You couldn't roll a bunch of 4+.
Maybe.
It just feels so like you could make it. I think you could rework it pretty easily.
Overall, I just wish Blood Bowl had like 10 to 20% less variance, something like that. So because there's extreme events, right? Like the really extreme events just need to be pulled in just a bit. So the games that are really stupid happen just like a little bit less often. That's what I want. Because it's okay if bad games happen. Like that's fine. I don't want it to be chess. Chess is chess, and chess is fine. Play chess if you want to play chess, but I want it to be just a little bit less wild.
I mean, they turned down the kickoff events,
which they did, for which I'm grateful for. I think they could turn them down a little bit more.
Maybe, yeah.
I think, for example, Blitz being D3 plus 3 players, functionally that's equivalent to the current Blitz a lot of the time anyway. Yeah. Except that now, for some reason, you don't get to use dodge, which is just flipping. Frankly, it's just nuts. I hate that ruling, but okay.
It's because
it is what it is.
It occupies the liminal space between turns, and obviously,
of course,
they've come up with this arbitrary decision that you can only use skills on your own turn.
I know.
Well, and it's like, oh well, it's not technically a turn, so how could you use a skill? Because of this other like.
Well, it's not just skills. You can't use rerolls at all. So if you get a blitz and you double skull the block, that's it. It's done.
Maybe a blitz is like.
I think a blitz could be legitimately just like D3 players, and it would be mostly okay.
I think D3
it would still do.
I think just 3 players would be fine.
Just 3, yeah, maybe.
Like why randomize it even more? Because it's like if you get 6, you're like, well, that's most of my team. If you take out the OS.
Even 4 is like plenty. Like 4 is huge numbers. Like 4 is enough to get a guy under the ball and screen him, right? Like,
you don't need more than that.
You don't need more than 4. I think 3 would be much fairer.
When
I don't know.
The Flash fights Superman in that really bad movie.
I don't think I've seen it, but
like the Flash, like he's running really fast, and that's what a blitz kickoff event is. It's like happening in milliseconds. The players are running at like some, the speed of light, but then because they're running so fast, any slight, trip or fall, that's it. They're like, oh no, I can't use my dodge roll because I'm moving at the speed of light. I think that's what it is. It's like
I see. In that case. Shouldn't they also just die if they ever fall over? Like if you fail a dodge during a blitz, it should be an automatic dead event because they were moving too fast.
I think there should be more automatic dead events in Blood Bowl. I think that was what it needs. Because there's only the one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, true.
It doesn't happen nearly enough.
Maybe we should do it with vampires. Like whenever they bloodlust, it's instead of rolling armor and all of this crap. No, it's just an automatic dead on any throw they come near. I think that would balance.
I thought you were going to say dead on the vampire.
Oh no, it's only dead on the vampire if they can't get to a thrall.
So if you fail a bloodlust, one player on your team is dying.
Yeah, this seems fair, right?
This person charge. We'll do it. Blood Bowl 2023.
Wow, I can't believe it. We made Blood Bowl worse.
Anyway, thank you for the co-cast. It was a lot of fun. It was an interesting game. I hope that the Chaos coach maybe watches the VOD and picks up some pointers. We're not trying to be too critical.
No, absolutely not. I thought it was a pretty well played game on the whole. But...
Yeah, congrats to getting to the quarterfinals. Hopefully you do well. I think your team needs another season to really be getting in the swing of things, and probably you should pick up some kill skills at some point.
Yeah, well, if he's made a vow, he's made a vow, you know. Far it from me to make someone give up their vow.
I think we've had a few. I think there've been a few Chaos teams in Rebel that have been like, I will be the mutation Chaos team. I won't use all these kill skills, and then they just do really badly and re-roll, or just pick the kill skills.
Basically, it's because Chaos without the kill skills are not very good.
No, Sage had a lot of kill skills. Sebstar, he just had.
Sage was super killy. Did you see that game?
Super killy. He was quite killy for Chaos.
I mean, there was that game where he completely destroyed Jimmy Fantastic's team.
Oh my god! I think I've watched it twice.
Just 3 warriors, I think it was, wasn't it? Something like that.
Yeah. It's just one of those games where everything seemed to be a death.
Oh dear.
I think he rage quit the league after that.
I think he did, yeah. And you know,
I've made a trough.
I don't
rage
think
quit the league before. It's my proudest achievement. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
I think I killed 3 and like armor bust 1, something like that. And he played 1 game after me and then just rage quit.
The cumulative effect of facing infinite Chaos teams has made me rage quit the league after this season.
I think that's wise.
I'm just done. Ugh.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not a good matchup for you.
It's not ideal. The funny thing is, like my stats against Chaos are still fine. I actually don't. It's the same thing where the one-off matchup you can absolutely win the one-off matchup. It's not good, but you can absolutely win it. I would say it's even only like 45-55 or like 40-60 or something.
Yeah.
But it's week after week, because if you start with 5 Saurus, it's definitely not 45-55. It's like if you start with 4 Saurus, it's significantly worse than that. So yeah, and then of course you face it every week, and then every week is another claw team. It's just get ground down.
Absolutely. Although there's less, I guess, less death in the new rules as well, which
that is true, and you can
play into like mitigating those kill teams a bit.
There's a couple of things they've done for mitigating the kill teams, haven't they? They've got rid of the piling on. They've made Claw Mighty Blow Not stack as well, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Apparently Dirty Player Sneaky Git is the meta now because it's incredibly powerful.
Sneaky Git went from being the worst skill in the game to
one of the best.
I think that's
amazing. Isn't it?
I need to play more. I need to play more BB 2020, to be honest.
I think my absolute hottest of hot takes, and I realize I've already dropped like 3 or 4 this stream already, is that Sneaky Git is probably not quite as bad as people think it is. I think it's still bad, don't get me wrong.
In this game?
Yeah. I just think it's not quite as bad as people think it is.
I think you would take it on a Dirty Player Goblin.
Yeah. Well, actually, I wonder if... Because the idea of Sneaky Git to me is that you can take shit fouls with it, and either they're not shit fouls because they break armor, or they are shit fouls, but at least they don't cost you anything.
Yeah, you can like speculatively foul on a 9 with one guy.
Yeah. Now, I don't think it's good. Like, you know, it's still not good. You still shouldn't be doing it, but like, it's not completely worthless like people think it is. And the thing is, comboing it with Dirty Player kind of isn't that great, because Dirty Player is like not a great. It makes it work less, right?
It's still good because there are. It lets you take more mid-level fouls where sometimes you just won't get through the armor, and that's fine.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, it's a strange one. I I think there are worse skills in this game.
I think the Sage
sure.
was meant to be playing in something, Sebstar. I think he's making some sort of a comeback. But yeah, I would...
I saw him at one point. He played a couple of CCL games and he disappeared again. It's a shame. I liked the Sage. Sage was actually how I found Blood Bowl, believe it or not.
Yeah, me too. I'm a big Sage fan.
I was watching a streamer called Jorbs who plays Slay the Spire, and for whatever reason, he happened to know the Sage, and they played some Blood Bowl together.
Got you in.
Yeah.
And then now you're rage quitting because of all the chaos.
Yeah.
I'll still play Blood Bowl. What a shame that you got into Blood Bowl.
I know, right? I mean, it's kept me sane through the pandemic, so it's done.
It was a great pandemic game. I think I joined slightly before the pandemic. And it was just, it's like, oh, here's a thing that'll just take up lots of time and stop me going mad.
You don't think there are worse skills than Sneaky Git in Blood Bowl 2? I think there are. But, I mean, I appreciate that my take is a little bit spicy.
Stab is good. It's like a risk-free action. There are so few risk-free actions in Blood Bowl. It's actually not bad.
The problem with Stab is that it's on bad players, typically, rather than it's a bad skill, I think.
Multi-block assassin is a meme because you can't use it on a blitz, so means you're saving it for the LOS blocks, which you get usually like 1 or 2 a game.
Yes.
No, multi-block, and then they can spread the LOS, and you can't do it. Multi-block assassin is pants. sorry, Sebstar. Anyway, this has been enough rambling.
Yes. All right. Take care. Thank you for letting me come on comms with you. It's been a pleasure as always.
Yeah, it is risk-free, Dreamify. It's like you would do it before scoring. You can just take a stab, literally. Like having a guaranteed risk-free action has some utility. It's not like the best skill ever, but it's pretty good. Anyway.
No. Anyway, yes.
All right. Thanks for watching, and congrats to Pendraco, I believe, or Pendraco, for winning the game. And I'll catch you guys later.